so after college, I moved to Boston, explored a couple of different churches here, and then met my husband. And together we decided to seek out a church that would fit both of our belief systems and traditions. And that's how we ended up at a UCC church when we were initially living in Melrose after we got married. And so about a year after that, we moved to Newton with our daughter and found UPA. It was, it was a place that we felt welcome immediately, seeing lots of other families, a lot of other very loving members of this church that really were so warm to us and to our daughter. And so certainly it was the UCC part of it that drew us initially, just to check it out. But it's the community here that's really kept us here since then and led us to become members. Just about a year from today, and we were walking in and being very struck by how beautiful the sanctuary is. It's a sanctuary that has a lot of character in terms of the architecture, in terms of the space itself, and had a lot of history. And that's something that really connects with me. Living in Boston, that's something that you definitely feel, and UPA definitely has that in its space. And just remembering so many people coming up to us and saying hello and wanting to meet our daughter, who at the time was about 6 months old. Mm-hmm. And thankfully she was very cooperative that first day, so that also helped us just kind of get settled and find our way.
So the first service I came to, I'm going to say, was in either July or August. And at the time I had a 5-year-old, and I was looking for someplace that I knew he would come with me. And that particular day, there were no children. And as I learned after coming back later, the kids were at camp or they were elsewhere, but they weren't in town for the summer. So I first came here as the Methodist church. And then I went to a couple of other churches, including Unitarian, and it had great intellect, but it did not have enough faith for me. And when I came back the second time, there were children, and I went, okay, we're here, we're set. And I think the other piece that, I don't know, being a little superstitious or a little cosmos-oriented, is that my sister's name is Frida. And one of the ladies I met that day, her name was Frida. So between having children in the congregation and Frida in the congregation, it was a done deal.
Yeah, we looked at a couple of churches, at least online, just to see what kind of information we could understand about them before we actually visited. And what really set UPA apart was just the vibrancy of the community here. There's a range of ages that are represented in the congregation, and that's great because it means that we can learn from each other. We can meet folks of all different backgrounds and find ways to really connect with them. So that was one of the best parts.
Well, when I first came here, I was in one age group, and now I'm in another age group. But I find that it's very inclusive, no matter what your age is, what your relationships are, what your background is. There's very little judgment. And also, I have participated in things that I would not participate in elsewhere. So I've done some work with the biannual auction. And I do not think of myself as any kind of decorator or party planner, anything on that order. Yet I've had the pleasure of decorating at that for a couple of sessions, and it's very fun. So it's been just sort of a treat to do something that I don't find myself to be that great at. I also enjoy the fact that very many different thought processes, and there's not judgment or argument, it's discussion, it's sharing as opposed to telling.
would you want to tell somebody who is thinking about stepping through the front door of this church for the first time? What should they know?
That the environment is sincere. If you are a little bit shy, you may feel as though people are a little over friendly, but I find that that's not the case at all. They're just genuine. And the Northeast is not particularly known for being open and inclusive, so it doesn't always come across that way, but it is. People are very, very friendly, and they don't have any type of hidden agenda. They're just happy that you are here experiencing the same thing they're experiencing.
You know, personally speaking, you know, having grown up really just in one church, and that being the only basis of comparison I had, it was always a little odd to be in a new place and think, well, this is how my home church did things versus what's happening here. But I think what's so great about the way that UPA is set up is that all of that is so malleable. From what Doug wears from one service to another on a different Sunday, to who's going to be singing in the choir, to the message that's going to be conveyed. All of that is, I think, reflective of the diverse opinions and values of the people here. And so as long as you're open-minded, just feel that everyone here is the same way, and really is here to make everyone better by improving the community as a whole.